Morning, everyone. So today we are going to be discussing statements of good standing, who's responsible for submitting them, who and how to send them, as well as some situations that may call for different kinds of documents. There we go. So we'll begin with what is a statement of good standing. A statement of good standing tells us if you are authorized to practice dentistry, and if your authorization has ever been taken away by the licensing authority, or if you would still be welcome to practice again in that jurisdiction. So the statement should verify that you are authorized to practice, that your license was never suspended or revoked by the regulator, and be original and signed by the authorized official. The principal goal of a healthcare regulator is to protect the public from harm by ensuring that healthcare services are delivered safe, ethically, and competently. So bearing that in mind, the organization that should send a statement of good standing is typically tasked by the government to protect the public interest. It sets the standards of competence and conduct that a healthcare professional must meet, investigates the complaints about the professionals who are licensed, and it would decide whether that professional would be able to continue practicing or need remediation. It also would establish technical safety and quality standards and impose penalties for non-compliance or malpractice. Here are a few examples of regulators to give you an idea of who some of the statements of good standing are received from. Sometimes the regulator is federal and sometimes it is state or provincial. So you would know that based on your particular situation. So how is the statement of good standing sent? This is a question that we receive quite a lot. The statement must be sent by the regulator directly to the NDEB office. Documents will not be considered as having come directly from the regulator if they have been given to you or anyone else first, if your identification or signature is on the waybill or on the envelope, a family member's identification or signature is on the waybill or the envelope, or if documents that are not issued by the regulator are sent with the statement of good standing. So essentially, the regulator would put the document in the envelope, stamp and seal it, and send it directly to us with no other intervention. Emailed statements of good standing. This is also a very common question that we receive. So if you're told by the regulator that they will not send a paper copy of the statement of good standing to the NDB office by post or courier, you can send us an email and include the name of the regulator and ask if we will if we have an agreement in place to receive them by email. So we do have some understandings with some of the regulators. And when this happens, the documents must be sent from an official traceable email account. It should include the name and the position of the authority who is sending the email. The email will not be accepted if it's from a generic email account, such as Hotmail, Gmail, Rediff Mail, etc. And again, please request that your NDB identification number is in either the email or the subject line when it's sent. So currently, these are some examples of understandings that we already have with some of the regulators around the world. There are more, and we are making more contacts every day. So if your regulator's not on here, just send us an email and we can confirm whether we are receiving electronic statements of good standing. So if the regulatory body does not issue the statement of good standing in English or French, you will have to provide original translation that meets the criteria for translations in the application guide. We strongly recommend that when you're requesting the statement to be sent to us, that you request one be sent to you as well, so that you'll have the same format to which you can make the translation and send it with your documents. So gaps in licensure. An affidavit is required. Basically, if you have a gap in licensure of more than 1 year. So these are the three situations. If more than a year has passed since you graduated and you've never been licensed, if you were licensed in more than one jurisdiction and there was a gap of a year or more between those, or if you've been licensed, but it's been more than a year since the last time you were licensed. So essentially, if there's a gap in your licensing of 12 months or more, you have to submit an original sworn affidavit. So the original sworn affidavit, it is a written sworn statement that is legally binding. It must be in English or French. It must include the dates, the date period in which you were not licensed, the reasons why you were not licensed. It must be witnessed by a lawyer, a notary public, or a commissioner of oaths. They will sign it in ink and apply their official seal or stamp, and you must sign it in your legal signature. So that's the signature on your government issued identification. Okay, so this is for extenuating circumstances. The first one is that in some countries where it might be state or provincial, regional jurisdictions, the previous jurisdiction may not send a statement of good standing once you've transferred to another jurisdiction. In this situation, you can request that the no objection certificate, so the certificate that was sent to the current jurisdiction, be sent to us. Or if they refuse to do that, you can send a good quality notarized photocopy of the one that you would have received when you transferred states, provinces, or regions within the country. If you have questions about that, please be sure to put that in the chat or send us an email because it's different. It may not be called a no objection certificate in every country, but essentially it's a certificate from the previous region in a country sent to the next region. If the regulator will only send a statement of good standing if you renew your license, you can ask for something different. So you could ask if they have a different type of document that they issue to previous dentists who have not been licensed for a while in their country. Or you can just ask them to send an original letter that contains basically the same information. So basically that you were authorized to practice in the jurisdiction and that your license was never suspended or revoked by the regulator, that you were in good standing while you were practicing in that country. So that's all the slides we have for today. I think the parting thought would be that statements of good standing are different in every country and sometimes in different regions in the country. So we do understand that. We have a wide variety of samples. And if you have questions while you're trying to put together your application packet, We encourage you to reach out to us by email. The email address is on the screen, by telephone, or you can book an appointment with a credential evaluation specialist on our website or through your NDEB Connect account. So I'm going to turn it over to Jemima for questions. I'm just going to.
We have one question. It's I have this person have been licensed in Canada for 4 years and did not go back to their home country. And their license hasn't expired in 2023. They're wondering what they should do.
They were licensed in Canada?
No, they have been in Canada for more than 4 years and did not go back to their country.
Okay, so you've been in, so the question is that they've been in Canada and has not gone back to their country since they were last licensed. You should be able to reach out to the jurisdiction electronically, so by email or phone, and still request that they send a statement of good standing. Maybe you'll want to provide more information about what jurisdiction that you were licensed in, and we can let you know if we receive things, but they should be able to send something without requiring you to go back. And if you have some correspondence with them and you're not getting the information you need, you can always forward the correspondence to us and we can look through it as well to make sure that you're requesting the right kind of document.
Okay, so I think it's the same candidate asking. They're wondering if they should renew their license first before applying, if I'm understanding correctly.
You don't have to renew. You should not have to renew. I think you'd have to discuss that with the jurisdiction in question, but I would see if you can get a different document other than a statement of good standing if they won't let you order a statement of good standing if you're not currently practiced. So again, ask if there's a different document or ask them to send an original letter confirming that you were previously licensed and that you were in good standing when you were licensed, and the dates as well.
This seems more like of a general question, but they're wondering how can they apply for a license in Canada to practice dentistry.
Okay, so that's kind of a big, broader question, which we really didn't cover in this webinar. I would suggest that it depends on the university that you graduated from, and so which pathway you take. If you graduated from a non-accredited dental program, then you'll be required to participate in the equivalency process. So I would head to the NDEB website and have a look at the information that's there about applying. We have a good video on our website as well about navigating the equivalency process. I would strongly suggest you have a look at that. It's very well done. And then after, if you have questions after looking at the video and reading the application guide, send us an email or book an appointment with the credential evaluation specialist if you have a precise question.
So this candidate I believe he was licensed in Pakistan and is wondering where the documents should come from.
So it's the Pakistan Medical Council. They send their documents by paper, so it's not an electronic submission. And you can definitely reach out to them. We get statements of good standing very regularly from them. You shouldn't have any issues with that organization.
Do we have oh, sorry, there's one more. Does not.
So it looks like maybe there's a question about whether we accept a WES report instead of a statement of good standing. We don't accept third-party credential evaluation reports in lieu of any of our required documents, and that includes the statement of good standing. So the NDB conducts its own credential evaluations, and you'll have to send the documents, including the statement of good standing, as outlined in the application guide.
Well, it looks like all the questions have been covered. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that this session was helpful, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.